Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. All right, everyone, we are live. Welcome everyone back to a Friday night live stream here at Christ-Centered Ironworks. Glad to have you in the house this evening. We've got a whole fun evening planned, if you will, with all sorts of goodies. We're going to be giving away 2 different pairs of tong blanks from Ken's Custom Iron that was supplied to us by Couch Forge Company. That's right. Oh, Jessica's here to make sure my brain continues to stay plugged in throughout the duration of this video. We'll also be giving away a Flux spoon that I made just recently in a video little series there, and then also some sticker packs and some coupons for, you know, a couple free downloads over at our website. So we're going to continue on this process of forging. I've got a piece of bar stock in the fire already. That's 5/8 inch round bar stock, or 16 mil for you guys around across the pond. We made this in our last live stream, basically this end here. We made this end and this foot, if you will, for this. So we're working on this next 2 feet. Now, interesting development. Originally, I had planned on getting all the tapers done with my power hammer, my home-built power hammer. The problem with that being is I never welded a cap on my pipe, my tube. I filled it with sand, but it settled a little bit, and I've got a little mama bird nursing like 6 little baby birds inside my power hammer right now. So until they're up and weaned, no power hammer for Roy. So back to doing tapering. So it's going to be a pretty relaxed evening for you. I'm just going to be sitting here sweating, pounding out some tapers and answering your guys' questions and comments. Let's check camera angle number 2, Jess. Make sure we're in good shape there. So look in focus and all that good stuff. Good. Okay. And how are you doing this evening, Jessica? And who do we have in the house?
Who do we have in the shop? We have lots of people in the shop, and I am doing well. Thank you for asking. And it looks like we have about 47 people joining us so far. So let me give you a couple of names and a lot of super chats starting us off early.
Hey,
so
thank you all. Thank you very much.
We before we even started, like an hour before we started, Gordon Farmer sent us some super chats. So we saw the sign changing before we were even formally logged in or anything with the back end stuff. So
always messing with us.
Yeah. So thank you guys, everybody who's joining us. Thank you, Aimless Adventure, for the $20 super chat. It says, yay, another live stream. So yeah, thanks for making it. I know you said you've missed a couple, but it's good to have you here this evening. Also, Rob Huff, thank you. He says, love from the Goshen Blacksmith shop. We appreciate that. And Charming Hollow Forge Hans sent the $50 super chat that turned it magenta. So let's go ahead and get this over with, one and done tonight.
That's what you say. Yeah, that's what you say, and then Amy shows up. Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for the super chats. Really do appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Hello, Rob at the Goshen. How's Brian and Ed doing? Oh.
They might as well get like a big screen or something.
Yeah. Apparently they ain't thrown you out yet, so you must be doing all right. Oh. Hans, thank you, brother. Thank you, our isolated friends in the South. Oh, got your letter, by the way, and stickers. Thought those were great. Thank you. Oh. All right, got a little more, and we'll be ready to go.
All right, sure. I'll mention a few other people who are joining us this evening. Brian Neely, hello. Big Water Tours, greetings. Neil Graham, Mule Kick Forge, Brett Larson, Wiley Archangel Crafts, Mark Jenny. Greetings to everyone who is joining us. And also Disappear Forever, thank you for the $25 super chat. Says, hope you guys are safe and far away from the burning, looting, and murdering. Yes, we are. We're, like Roy said, we're in the isolated north.
They'd have big problems if they came up here and burned, looted, or tried to murder. It wouldn't end up too well for them. No. Bottom of the bay. That's all I'm going to say. Bottom of the bay. Well, my forge is needing some new fuel. It's all carbon, right? It's all carbon. Anyways. On to our project. Let me get to hammering. Thank you all. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for all the great comments. Thank you all for being here, especially. I know this isn't like, you know, an elaborate stream or anything where we're doing anything major, considering I have to do more drawing out of tapers. But thank you for being here anyhow. Greatly do appreciate it. So let's go to camera number 2, Jessica, and let's start drawing out our first taper. So the first step in any of my tapering processes is I like to get that point on the end of the bar first and foremost. And I start working that in, and there's no need in us wearing ourselves out at this stage. We're going to put that back in. That's clean enough. We're going to put that back in and bring it up to a nice bright yellow heat again.
Let's see here. Hans left a funny comment. He said, make your peace with Jesus, because you walk through Roy's door, you're going to meet him.
Yeah, yeah. Uninvited, so.
Also, thank you, Yamez, for the mustache super sticker. Appreciate that. The mustache. Actually, Roy actually mentioned like a month ago, he's like, maybe I should grow out like a really beefy mustache. I'm like, that would be interesting.
Yeah, come to find out, I don't have the lip structure for it. You're supposed to have at least 2 fingers. Now, I got some big fingers. So I don't know if they mean big fingers or small fingers, but you're supposed to have 2 fingers between your lip and your nose to grow out a really big, you know, like Tom Selleck type mustache. And if you don't have that, you're never going to grow a really nice, big, fluffy mustache. So.
Hey, Uncle Bucks. He says, don't tell anybody, but you can say Bluetooth earbuds, hashtag listening at work.
Shh. Don't tell his boss. Welcome, Uncle Bucks. Oh.
Let's see here. Random Goat, you asked how Ken's Custom Iron Refer a Friend link works. Yeah, if you sign up and just have a basic account there, you can, it's on the pages there, and yeah, you can sign up for it and use it yourself. He has like a point system where after you get so many points, you get a like a coupon for a percentage off, that kind of thing.
Oh no, I'm good. I was just, yeah, you can keep reading comments if there's any comments, questions, things like that. I'm sure there's all sorts of hilariousness.
Well, Yama says his facial hair is famous, LOL. And Neil Graham says, boy, I'm glad that I don't have 2 fingers between my lip and my nose. That seems like an awful lot of real estate.
Yeah. I'd probably screw it up. And just have like a really narrow mustache with all that space. It'd just be like a line right in between. You'd probably have some sort of genetic abnormality or something if you had something like that. So. They say that's the secret to a big, healthy mustache, though. Need to pull this open just a bit.
Let's see here. Thank you, Aimless Adventure, for the poop emoji super sticker. If I should say thank you for that, I'm not sure. Yes. Also, we have a question for you, Roy. Sid Stone says, do you work with wrought iron very often?
Great question. Who was it, Sid? Sid? Great question, Sid. I do have wrought iron. I do not work with it very often just because it is kind of a precious material. So I only save it for specific jobs. So here recently, I had a commission for a wrought iron hammer with faces welded on, and so I took a chunk of wrought iron and faggot welded it up, and then added faces to it to make a large cross peen, large straight peen hammer, excuse me. So I'll save it for things like that, or if somebody wants me to do some sort of restoration work, I'll use it in that case scenario too, where it needs to be like for like type deal. But usually for new projects, stuff I'm making as art, it's a very rare material, so I don't use it for that. I just use mild steel. But let's go to the anvil, Jessica. All right, so there we go. We're starting to get that tapered out nicely. We still got quite a bit of distance to travel on this because we're looking for a really nice long taper.
You were really wailing on that, Roy. You were wailing on it.
Was I?
You were.
Oh.
No, that's good. That's good. They want to be entertained.
Hit it like I would hit a loser. I didn't say anything. I didn't say a thing.
Let's see here. Aimless Adventure says that he might just have to start using the happy poo emoji in every live stream, and he says that it's a good thing because it's a happy poo. So,
Happy poo. Well,
it is.
I'll take it. It's got money attached to it. Why not?
And Gordon Farmer sent us a super sticker of a kitty cat. So our kitty cat's around here somewhere. If he comes around, I'll show you.
Got some beautiful colors happening tonight. All sorts of colors of the rainbow.
A question from Jerry Franks. He says, what pound hammer are you using?
1 3/4 pounds. So it's a 1 3/4 pound cross peen hammer. Made myself in a blacksmithing class. We can go camera number 2. Made this in a class with Tom Latney. Very first hammer ever. And it was a wrought iron with steel faces welded on to boot. So it is a wrought iron hammer with steel faces. And I did a little decorative chasing details on the side there. But yeah, it's a 1 3/4 pound hammer. Square face. Really nice to work with. Great question.
Thank you for the super chat to Spear Forever. He says, or she, did you make a steel gas mask for the virus yet? Seems like we all might need to wear better armor against the new biohazard threats too. Somehow cloth doesn't cut it.
I thought about making one. I was going to do a video on it and things like that, but haven't got around to it. I've been so swamped, so busy that just haven't had time. So I've just been doing the bandit thing if I have to go out anywhere. So, all right, let's go to the anvil, Jess. Getting hot. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. A little more at a time. I forget already how long we drew the other taper, but I want to say it was about 12 inches in length. I believe it was 12 to 14 inches in length, so that's what we're roughly shooting for here. And thank you for the green super chat. Whoever did that. Awesome.
That one was from Doe Creek Forge, who said, just want to say this is one of my favorite projects.
Awesome. Glad you like it, Doe Creek Forge. It's a fairly simple project. It's a lot of tapers. It can be quite laborious having to be at the anvil doing a lot of tapers. If you have a power hammer, it makes it a heck of a lot quicker. If you're not under a time constraint, you know, you just take whatever time you need, and so it doesn't really matter after that. And that's kind of what I focus on. Since we're not really under a time constraint, we are and we aren't. I need to make it entertaining enough for you to watch, so I need to constantly be moving hot steel. But if I had to do this normally, it would just be, I would take as much time as it took to draw out a taper. It could take 2 hours or whatever. It wouldn't matter necessarily if you're doing it by hand, because you got to remember, again, you aren't a machine. So you will tucker out, you will have muscle fatigue, things like that, get out of breath, get winded, stuff in that nature. So the whole project is great because, again, it's only going to have, it's going to have two riveted joints, you know, two joints, well, one joint that is riveted twice. It's going to have two slit and drifted holes, and then the rest is all friction and tapers with vines, so it's really nice that way. Let's go back to the anvil, Jess. All right, now we need to check this thing for length. Got about 9 there. I'm thinking it was 12-inch tapers, if I remember correctly. If somebody remembers what the other ones were, comment in the comment section down below. But yeah, so we got 9 right there right now, so we need to take it out a bit further, the taper. So take another heat on it. We've got this out as thin as we want, but this back here, we need to go ahead and draw this out a bit more. You don't want to go too thin out here because this has got to sit in the ground and not flex too much. You don't want it to bend when you do that. I should have stated this at the beginning, but the length that we're working with on the bar stock was 2 feet. Now that was just a guesstimate. Really, I kind of came out to right around 20 inches or so. When I kind of laid it off, it came out to about 20 inches, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. Like I said before, you can always cut something off and then redraw a taper. It's very hard to just take and stretch any more out of a design once you're to dimension. So it's a lot harder to stretch additional material out once you're ready to fit things up than it is to shorten it and draw a little extra material out to make up the difference. So always shoot a little big.
Alice Harvey says that you did a beautiful chasing job on your hammer, and you don't see that very often. And Gordon Farmer asked if you can use gymnast chalk to help with the sweat on your hands with the hammer.
Yeah, you can. One thing I do, well, over time this hammer has like polished up, the hammer handle has, just through sweat, grime, grit, my hand rubbing on it. It's polished out, so you could buff your hammer handles and it'll make it a little bit better that way. You know, you should be able to maintain control of the hammer, but yeah, it shouldn't be like sticking and tearing up your hands. You know, you don't want it to be really sticky. So you could do chalk, you could do baby powder. That'll make it really slick. Baby powder is pretty easy. Just take a little bit of like a little bit of water, and you can wipe it off if it gets too slick, if you add too much. Those are just some options that you can do.
Kid KV said that you had said it had been 12 to 14 inches.
12 to 14 in the last one. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do on this one as well then. Like I said, I thought, if my memory served me correctly, it's been 2 weeks and I've made a lot of other calculations since then. It was at 12 to 14 inches. Again, with something like this, it's not overly critical, but it's good if you know. It's good if you know.
Disappear Forever, thank you for the super chat. Says, by the way, I got the pipe threading kit I needed. Thanks for the advice. Help me out with my hydraulics and milling.
Awesome. You're very welcome. All right. How many people we got in the stream, Jess?
Let me take a look. I have to like switch screens when I do that. Looks like we are sitting at 67 viewers currently.
67, huh?
Mm-hmm, that's correct.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us.
Oh, also there was several questions in regards to the style of anvil, the weight, and if it has a upsetting block on it. So maybe you should introduce Olga.
Yeah. So for all of you out there that are new, this is Olga, my main shop anvil. It's a 465-pound Pettinghaus anvil. It does have an upsetting block, and it has 2 horns to it. And yeah, she sits wherever you put her, and she doesn't move. Benefits of a big anvil that way. But yep, really a great anvil, and will be probably my lifetime anvil, unless there's, I don't know, a couple 1,000-pound anvil I pick on, and then I'll still be keeping this anvil. I'll have my 1,000-pound anvil, and then I'll have Olga sitting right next to it. So, if you have a 1,000-pound anvil or 2,000-pound anvil, I'll just have to start calling it "Oh Snap" or something like that, just because people are like, "Oh snap, that thing's huge!" Wow.
Hammer Time Mark. Oh, sorry. Hammer Time New York. Mark says, "Hey guys, on the phone, so I can't read chat. Just listening for Roy and Jess's wisdom." Well, welcome. Good evening.
Welcome. Good to have you, Hammer Time. So that's heating up there. While this is heating, now's a good time to share this stream around with your friends or anybody that you think might have interest in watching. It's always good. That tells YouTube that, hey, these people we need to actually send out the information. We need to send out notifications for these people. No, that always helps us out when you do that, and we always greatly appreciate it. And I think after this next heat, we're going to give something away. Probably give away the first pair of tongs. What do you think? Yeah, sure. Go big. Start, huh? Yeah. Sound good? It does, yeah. Sound like a plan?
About nearly 30 minutes in, so that'd work out good.
30 minutes in, right on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can do that.
Gordon Farmer, thank you for the super chat. And also, Uncle Bucks asked, does Olga actually have the maker's name on it?
Nope, no identifying marks whatsoever. Oh, I was told by the guy who had it imported that it was a Pettinghaus anvil. So he had it imported a couple decades ago, and then from Germany, and yeah, basically. And that's all I know about it. And as far as I can tell, it's very it's very much in that styling of a Pettinghaus anvil. So, so I took his word for it. Didn't care. She was 465 pounds and beautiful. Beautiful. I like big anvils. Huh?
Very nice face on her.
Yeah. No. Thank you all for the super chats, by the way. Thank you very much. So let's go over to the horn, Jess. Or to the anvil, even though I'm focusing on the horn. Thin that out a little bit. That's where we want that though. Clean that up. Take a quick look at her here. Lengthwise, pretty sure we're pretty close. Yep, we're getting a lot closer there. We're not quite. We are about 12 inches there, but by the time I stretch that other little bit out and then round it up, we're gonna be getting really close to that 14-inch mark.
On the note of anvils, Hans says he found a guy at work with a 661-pound anvil that he doesn't smith with. He bought it for $1 a pound, and Hans offered him $2 a pound, sight unseen.
Ha ha! Let me know if he takes that offer. You won't go wrong with a big heavy anvil. You really can't. Some people like smaller anvils, and they definitely have their place, like especially if you've got to do a lot of traveling, you have to do shows, stuff like that. Having a small anvil is great. Also, if you don't have the dual horn, you don't have the smaller options of the faces that you can work on, like the tapered square horn on the back. You don't have those smaller options to get in between shoulders. So, you know, like on a bigger London pattern anvil, it's not as nice on a, you know, to have a big giant one of those. But on these double horns, you really can't beat them, especially for your shop anvil. They have all the mass in the world that you need to do any sort of forging that you're going to do by hand, or even with a striker. And all of your kinetic energy that you're putting into the piece is going, really, it's going right into the piece. You're not losing much. So let's go back to the anvil, Jess. All right. Don't want to go too thin here. Like I said before, I'm just working this taper together to blend it into a nice, long, narrow taper. And now I'm going to take off the corners. Next heat, I'll do a little cleaner job of that and pushing this thing back the way it needs to be. Hopefully y'all can see that. Okay. Hopefully I'm in close enough so you can see everything. Again, next heat, I can continue to clean that taper up, and I'll be looking good. Yeah? All right.
Disappearing Forever, thank you for the super chat. Says, have you seen Alumatube? He's a YouTuber that does a lot of aluminum casting and molding.
No, I haven't. I haven't really spent a lot of time in the whole casting side of the Department of Metalworking. Just as general, only so much I can learn in a given amount of time, but I might go check him out though. Every now and then, I lay around and be lazy. I know it's hard to believe, but every now and then I lay around and be lazy, and I look to watch other people work. I don't know what I'm saying. I like to watch other people work. I said I look twice. I didn't correct. I thought I was course correcting the first time, but I didn't. Whoopsie. Oh, thank you for the super chats, by the way. So let's go back to the anvil, Jess. And I said after that heat I was going to give away a pair of tongs, didn't I? But I did not do that. I'll clean up the taper here, nice and round, if you can. Start out at the end and work your way back into the stock. Good reason for this is because you can push this past the hot part of the fire as you continue to work back up the material. And this is really too dark to be forging on. I'm just planishing out those facets to make it a lot smoother. Brush it to see where I still need some work. And before I stick that back in, I'm going to cool off my handle. It's getting kind of hot since I've been heating clear up in here. So I'm going to grab a pair of tongs and do that real quick over at the quench tub. Can you shoot me some more questions or comments, Jess?
All right. The Baka Maker asks if this is Roy without coffee.
You will never know. You will never know.
Let's see here. Sid Stone says, are you going to sell or keep the pot holder?
Pot holder. This? Oh, the crane? I will be selling it after it's all said and done. Yes, yeah, I changed it over to you. Speargrass Forge says, that's okay, Roy. We're here to watch you forge and interact. The giveaways are secondary. Well, I appreciate that. I know some people only like to come for the giveaways, but we have a really passionate following, and that really does mean a lot. Means a lot to me. Here recently, I got to interact with a few people at a blacksmith class I taught, that were subscribers to the channel. And it's amazing when I get people to come in from all over the states, all over the United States, to just take a class with me. It makes me feel pretty darn special, even though I'm nothing really that special. I'm just a guy, lives in northern Michigan now, used to just live in Dayton, Ohio. So I was just, I'm a blacksmith. I have a passion for it, just like anybody else. And so it always means a lot when I get to meet somebody who's been really inspired by my work. And people being here, watching this stream, taking time out of your evening, I do appreciate each and every last one of you. And all the people who super chat, I love you guys because you keep this thing rolling. You help with so much. You help with the shipping and keeping the lights on and fuel in the shop, things like that, for doing this type of work for live streams, for YouTube. And you are all very, very, very much appreciated. For those of you who don't know already, that's how you get your name up on that pre-roll ad list. We don't have sponsors here on this channel because I keep everything unbiased if I do any reviews, this or that or what have you. So we don't take any sponsor money or anything like that. And we always say our sponsors, these streams and these videos are brought to you by you all, our sponsors, you know. And so it's very much a crowd-funded event, and we are greatly appreciative of those sort of things. And that's what brings me now to segue into giving stuff away. It's our way of saying thank you and giving back. I'm gonna watch this real quick, real close. Okay, we're coming up to heat, but let's go ahead and give away our first pair of tongs. We're gonna give away, boom. Can they see that in the main cam? Yep. Okay, we're gonna give away a pair of these tongs here that are just like your standard flat bit twist tongs that you can get. We have the rivets in the other room. We'll include the rivets with them if you do win. These are open to anywhere in the whole world. We'll ship them to you, you know, our cost, not yours. So, you know, the way that you gotta do it to get entered to win is just comment a phrase in the comment section here as we do a drum roll or anvil roll, if you will. Watch this. Yeah, we're getting a little hot there. So I'm gonna pull that to the top pile and we're gonna get on with it. So you ready, Jessica? So Jessica's gonna pick one name at random of the people who have commented a phrase to give you all some of these pairs of tongs. Ready? Is everybody ready? Yep. People commenting already? Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Who do we have?
There we go. Now you guys can hear me. All right. We landed on Doe Creek Forge, who says, my tongs. They are your tongs now.
Doe Creek Forge. They are your tongs now. Congratulations. Thank you. Get with us with the contact link in the description down below. You know how to do it. And we will get these shipped right out to you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for being a constant supporter of ours. No.
Before these slip away also, thank you, John Nuccio, for the $1.99 super chat. And Graham, thank you for the $2 Australian super chat. Says, hey, I made it this time. Good to see you, Graham.
Good to see you, buddy.
And Doe Creek Forge, $5 super chat says, finally, I got a hood for my coal forge. Do you have any advice on switching from gas to coal?
Things get hot quick in a coal forge, so hence why I keep checking it over here. Gas forge, you can let it in. You can let it in for a while, you know, and it'll eventually get really hot out towards the ends, things like that. But coal forge has a really intense heat, so it takes less time to get bar stock very hot quickly. So you just need to keep an eye on it. Try to keep your fire's maintenance, so keep it maintained to as small of a fire as needed for the work to be done. So if you're working on 1/4 inch stock, you don't need a big blaze like what you see going on here because you're working with 1/4 inch rod. You want to take and tamp it down and wetten it around the edges and get it down to where it's just a nice little tiny fire with enough air to heat things up. That will help you out greatly when it comes to the coal stuff. And thank you guys, thank you for the super chat. So, all right, back to the anvil real quick. I was able to maintain that okay. I had to taper those just a little bit more because it's a thicker piece. So now I'm hammering off those flats because we turned it to octagon, and now we're turning it into whatever 16 sides is, and then we're rounding that up. Again, you make this as smooth as you would like. It's really up to you. So as I'm hammering on this, I'm really looking for all the little flats I'm seeing, and I'm trying to hit it on the corner of those flats to make smaller flats and to continue to break this material down till it's nice and smooth. Now I'm going to check it again for length. We should be getting pretty darn close. Yeah, we're almost at that 14. Can't hold it up against there. We're about 13 inches right now. So I could pull that out a little bit more, but I think that looks about right from what we had last time. I might draw this just a bit more out in here to come to our 14 even, and then continue rounding that up.
We have a comment from Brian Howman, who also did a $2 super chat, says, here for the rants, keep up the good work.
Cool. I will do. So, yeah, on the subject about the, and thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. On the subject of this this fire crane, this campfire crane, here, I will be selling it off once I get it done and it's fully finished and the whole bit, if there's any interest. If there's not, it'll live outside at my campfire ring, you know, things like that. I'll either put it to use or it'll get sold. Most likely, I'll try to sell it off. Like I said, if there is any interest, you know, we'll see. We'll see how much sweat equity is worth at the end of this whole thing, and if there's any takers for paying for that sweat equity. That is always the trick when you are selling things. Just because you put a lot of sweat equity in it, time, love, passion, care, doesn't necessarily mean it will immediately sell for you. So do a little Roy rant, huh? So you have to kind of temper your expectations. If you want higher amounts of money for your work, you have to be willing to wait longer amounts of time to find that right discerning buyer that's willing to pay the prices you're asking. So it's always a balance. You know, if your bills are coming due at the end of the month, that's not the time, and you have $0, that's not the time to sit on $4 million worth of ironwork because you said it's worth $4 million. You might want to go ahead and make sure that, you know, you get rid of your few unfavorite pieces maybe that are really popular and maybe do them for a better discount or things like that in order to pick up your bills. It's always this balance in forging for a living. You know, one thing that's a nice offset for this is, you know, I have not planned this for a customer. This isn't a specific thing that I'm doing for anyone. It's more for YouTube. I'm doing it for the views. Doing it for your watch time, right? So, doing it to have a project that we can work on while we give stuff away and things like that. So some of those costs are already ate up with. Again, people are super chatting and stuff. You know, I mean, those things, they help to pay for my time standing here. They really do. You know, because again, they go into things like the fuel I'm burning and the electric that's being ran and, you know, and the internet service that, you know, the highfalutin internet service that we have to have in order to run live streams and things like that. That's what that stuff kind of goes towards, and it really helps out. And so this isn't at cost, but it's significantly lower than if I would have just scratched my brain and I think, I'm just going to make a big fireplace crane for no reason, make some pictures and hope it sells. So, you know, there are ways of offsetting your costs like that. All right, go back to the anvil. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and hammer this out just a bit more. Won't want to short anybody. Not going to go too far with that because I don't need that much. But that should give me my 14 inches of length. When you're planishing out the material, you want to keep your scale clean from your anvil if you can. Sometimes I avoid doing that because you might hear that on the camera, but you know, just a quick breath of air will blow that scale off the anvil's top as you're going along. The cleaner your anvil top is, the better off this will look, surface texture wise. But you want to be coming in nice and parallel to the piece. You don't want to be coming in at angles like this, or like this, or this. You want to be coming in nice and parallel to your taper. Be able to planish this thing out. Now, you know, that's a 14-inch long taper by hand. As you can see, it takes considerable amounts of time to do that. That is probably a 2-heat taper under my power hammer. So just, you know, if you have a power hammer, use it. There you go, 14 inches exact. Roughly. You can hold still. 14 inches, that's good. One down, only so many more to go. I've got so many more to go. So, we'll clean that up a little bit. A little more cleanup work to do right in the middle, but so I'll planish that out real quick. There's the other thing. If I am making this, so for instance, there are several levels of ironwork even out of one shop that you may encounter, right? Several different tiers of ironwork. If I'm just making ironwork to say be an example, just to give a beginner an idea of what's going on, right? If that's what I'm doing, I'm just going to get as quick to the point as I can, right? So if I'm just showing you how to draw out a taper, I'm going to show you how to draw out a taper the fastest way I know how, and it's going to look more on the crude side. It'll look good, but it should, for it being professional quality work, but it'll be rougher than what I would do, say, for a client. If a client ordered something from me, I'm going to take the time to make sure that this is perfectly smooth. Or if it's supposed to be textured, it has intentional texture down the piece. Those are things that elevate the ironwork in the end result, but also takes a high toll on your sweat equity. You're going to have to put a lot more sweat equity into the piece when you do that. So, you know, keep that in mind. So when you do watch my videos online, I know I do it in my videos, there are some videos where I'll forge something and it may look a little bit off. Or maybe I say, I have a shirt, good enough for YouTube, right? I do, good enough for YouTube, because that's what it is. It's meant to be a demonstration. It's not meant to illustrate how masterful I could be doing it. It was meant to look like a beginner-made project so you had something to achieve too, right? There's always something I could always embellish it over the top and make this one item, you know, like $1 million scroll, right? Like, but for whatever, you know, for whatever you're doing as a beginner, you're not going to be able to obtain that at first. So keep that in mind when you watch around YouTube and you start looking at different guys' skill levels, things like that, what they're doing, what their project is. Sometimes it's indicative of their actual personal skill level in the trade or in the craft of blacksmithing. And then other times it's because they're short on time. They're moving cameras, they're talking, they're illustrating, they're having other clients' orders on the go, side fire stuff that they're doing. You know, this is like what they're working on every other heat, right? Like every other heat, they're working on this piece. So they're not being able to give it their most all. So, you know, keep that in mind even when you do sales for yourself, right? If you're trying to make a scroll and you're trying to make it perfect, and I mean perfect, where there's just almost no hammer marks in it, and there's intentional forging texture put in, and the thing's perfectly scrolled up, and everything's perfect, that cost for a customer is going to be quite high because your sweat equity and your labor is whoosh, through the roof. As where somebody who's looking to have you know, a grab rail for their grandma, right, and they just want it to look a little decorative, not that you should do a cruddy job, but they may not have the budget to pay you $1 million for that one scroll, right? They need a grab rail that has a scroll in it. So, you know, you shorten the time, do something a little less elaborate, you know, and maybe not try to make it so machine finish, and they're still happy with it. It's still a good product as long as, you know, it doesn't snap off and little grandma goes, wah! And breaks a hip. you know, make sure it's good and anchored, those sort of things. You know, sorry, I'm laughing at the wah. That's the best. That's the best. I hit that sound perfect. God love all your grandmas out there. Sorry, I apologize. Let's go back to the anvil, Jess, real quick. I'll finish playing this up, and you can give me some comments or whatever. You have comments?
Yes, I do. Sorry, wanted to make sure you could hear me over the hammering. A couple of super chats. I'll start with those first. Neil Graham, thank you for the $10 super chat. It says, always enjoyed the stream. Thank you, Neil, and glad to have you. You're one of our regulars. Ansel's Adventures also sent a $2 super chat and says, I like the instructions and the tips and tricks shared.
Awesome. And that was from Ansel's Adventures. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like the tips and tricks. And then Neil Graham sent one. Yeah?
Yes.
So thank you, Neil. Thank you very much.
And also Aimless Adventure, a super chat and a question. He says, what's the pros and cons of butcher block brushes?
Okay, great question. So, pros to a butcher block brush. So that's done, by the way. Can they see me on the main cam? Now they can. Okay, so that's done. We've got that drawn out. That's a 14-inch taper. That's as far as I want to take that. I could clean that up just a fuzz more, but I think it's good. It's matching what we did in the other piece. So now we need to take and bin the piece up. We need to bin this piece up and go from there. So that's what we'll do next. I'll have to cool this off. So to answer the question, give me a second while I cool this off. They can still hear me. To answer the question about what is the benefits and the downsides to a butcher block brush, is that the main benefit of a butcher block brush is that it has really coarse bristles on it. And those really coarse bristles really help remove heavy scale very fast and rapidly. So that's the main advantage. They really eat steel really fast. They'll really polish that surface nicely, okay? One of the downsides to this is anything that's a fine detail item, like a little scroll in or something like that, it's really easy to snag those and bend them out of the way. So this isn't a finesse thing. This is a rough forging thing. So it's good to have the other type of little wire bristle brush that you see people use for the smaller work, smaller little detailed items, and then a big butcher block brush for mass material removal, you know, scale removal. Okay. Check this against this.
All right.
Yep, it's close. Gotta go there. Put a bend in it. Yeah. Remember, curves eat up material. Always go a little extra long if you're not for certain. Yeah, that'll work, huh? What do you think?
Yeah, that'll work good. Let's see, that's your, so if you do 2 tapers today, that'll be the other 2 legs, and then you'll still have 2 tapers to do at least 2 to 3 on the support portion.
Tapers up top, but I'll have to mark out and figure out where I'm doing my slit and drifted holes. I'm gonna have to have those marked out and planned. So I'm gonna do the tapers first on these. These will be shorter tapers. And then the other sides, you know, these are the legs. So I have to do those, and then in the next stream, we'll actually put it together. We'll do slit and drifted holes, and we may not actually get it together, but we'll at least, I'll do all the layout work. We'll talk about that. And then I'll go into doing the slit and drifted holes. And then hopefully, maybe, we'll get it riveted together and it'll be standing in the next live stream. Of course, the next live stream will be giving away another 66-pound anvil, so you'll want to stop in for that. If you're in the neighborhood, not literally in my neighborhood, But if you're, yes, if you're browsing the interwebs, stop on by if you like this sort of thing.
Let's see here. Big Water Tours. Yes, there will be another tong giveaway live stream of its own. That'll be after, most likely after Roy finishes this bracket completely. So that's like what we did 3 streams back, I think, where we just Roy just kind of forged some tongs from the blanks and then gave them away as he finished them.
Yeah.
Gordon Farmer, thank you for the super chat. He says, I'm just watching Roy's hand position with the hammer.
Good. It's a good thing to watch. Thank you, Gordon. Oh, yeah, so last time, what's good for us is to do, I'm going to do another stream where I actually make tongs and give them away in the stream. It's a nice intermediary stream in between larger projects, larger scale projects. Because the larger scale projects, believe it or not, you do have to figure out whether you have enough material for what said project. You have to draw it up. That's what I'm doing. And then, you know, yeah, you draw it, figure if you have all the materials, adjust your design accordingly. Then if you have all the materials and yada, 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 and it's all going to work out, then you can actually schedule and actually make it happen and plan for it for X number of streams to try to get it done in. So, but it does require kind of figuring that out a little bit in advance. So it's good to have that intermediary stream in between things.
Couple of questions I'm going to combine into one. If you've ever considered doing gate latches, what's the other one? A weather vane, or the other ones, it'll come back to me in a second, but.
Yes, I've done gate latches before. Weather vanes, nope, haven't done those. I've definitely considered it. In fact, I have plans for once the roof gets replaced on the shop here, I do plan on putting up my own forged weather vane up top. So it's going to be a big one, and I'm still deciding on whether I want to make it mechanized or not. Mechanized requires maintenance. You know, a solid weather vane, it's a solid weather vane. So I might just do the solid one just because I'm lazy and I don't like being up 32 feet on a 10, 12 pitch roof. So, so I'll probably do the latter of that situation. I'll do it where, you know, I won't be climbing up necessarily all the time, but it'll just be a weather vane that sits up there. So.
The other item was armor.
Armor. Have I ever considered doing armor? I did briefly once, and then I've decided I don't have enough patience for that. So I know my mom wants me to make some armor for her at some point in time, you know, like not necessarily for her, but, you know, something that she can have like a little Iron Man in the side of the room type deal, but it's just not really my forte. Armor isn't. You have to really get into the history of armor and armor making and all the processes, and it's really like a whole separate thing than blacksmithing. It basically has nothing to do with blacksmithing, just about. Armor is its own separate thing.
Oh yes, wind chimes was another item.
Wind chimes, yeah, that would be neat. That'd be neat to make. People give me all sorts of good ideas for streams, huh? Potential streams. Yeah, you guys keep commenting down below, whatever you want there. You never know, I might get crazy enough and do it. All right, we're gonna use this mallet. I'm gonna use a wooden mallet. We'll go to the anvil, Jess. We're gonna use a mallet that was provided to me by JK Canvas. Thank you, sir. We're gonna use that to take and bend this over the horn. I want a fairly nice tight bend here. And we need that nice tight bend because it's going to straighten out somewhat when we shape the rest of this leg. So The wooden mallet is so we don't create hammer marks when we're hammering up against this form. We just took all that care to get them hammer marks out of there. We don't want to add them back at this juncture. So I'm going to look at what I got here, and that wasn't near enough. So I'm going to have to go a little bit more. I figured it wasn't enough, but you need to come up 2 inches more, so. All right. Doing a soft 90 like that will give you the opportunity to come back up the stock quite a bit. So since we didn't hammer it hard against the sharp of the anvil, we can always move that 90 back. If we don't like where it's positioned, we just move it back a little bit. So this is very much free form. If you need everything to be perfect and you had like 20 of these to be made, you better make a jig. You better make a jig that everything goes in. A jig and or fixture plate to take and do the work with. But since it's a free form thing, if you get your bend in the wrong spot, straighten it out and start back a little further and bend it again. It's steel, so as long as it's hot, it's in its plastic state, you can move it around to your heart's desire. So do that. Again, thank you everyone for the super chats. Thank you everyone for your patience and watching and all that other stuff. Joining us for this Friday Night Live. I do greatly appreciate that. Hopefully everyone shared it with their friends and deciding that way. And to answer the question from earlier, people asked, is this the Roy Off coffee? And yes, this is the Roy Off coffee. I have been not drinking coffee now for about, what, 2 weeks? Since the last live stream. Yeah. Last live stream I had coffee. This is Roy without coffee. So, yes, frumpy Roy. Roy sad. Roy big sad. I'm still a goofy guy, just not exuberantly goofy.
Yep. Rachel Jameson says, does chainmail have anything to do with blacksmithing?
Chainmail. Hey, Rachel. Good to see you, neighbor, in the stream. Thank you for being here. Chainmail. Chainmail is very much like an armorer thing. And back in medieval times, it would have actually been separate from armoring as well. There would have been specific makers of chainmail. That's all they focused on was chainmail. Because there's a lot of different types and patterns and weaves of chainmail out there. But it's kind of got grouped in. Blacksmithing is really a generic term for all aspects of the craft. So, you know, if you're a knife maker, you're a blacksmith, right? But technically you're not. You're a knife maker. You're a knife smith. You know, if you're an armorer, again, technically people group it in like, oh, I see him at the Ren Fair. That guy's a blacksmith. No, he's an armorer. He makes armor, one of those type things. So, so blacksmithing is the generic term, analogy, or jargon for the whole craft of shaping hot metal when it comes to iron or steel. And then there's all the specialties that develop from that. Great question. Great question. Let's go back to the anvil, Jess, real quick. Okay. All right. Here we go. We didn't like where that was at to begin with, so we're going to go ahead and move it on up. Move it on up. Take that out. Take that bend back out. Give it a little more arch. Give it a brushing. See where we're at. And we'll check it against my leg over here. Not my leg, but the other leg. I better clarify that, because somebody might be like, okay, you check it against your leg. Check. No, don't do that. All right, so that's basically where we want it. I do need to take and shape this a little bit more. It's a little sharp right in this corner here. Grab Mr. Thing here. It's a little sharp right here. This has a nice flow, but it comes in too steep here. It needs to be a little more spried out, so I'm going to heat that area up. Brush this off, and I'm going to cool everything off up to that bend there over at the slack tub. More questions, Jess? Comments? Complaints?
Well, let's see. Yeah, it definitely helps when you guys use the hashtag if the question's specifically for Roy, because then I can scroll back up and see it easily. Corey Shire says, seems to me that I remember Roy working on a couple of projects last year in Ohio, like the jeweler's hand filing vise. Actually, that was year before last. And whatever happened to that?
Great question. They've caught me. So, the jeweler's vise, it is basically on the to-do pile of projects. Now, I don't like to say, oh, you know, I don't like that it has to be on the to-do pile of projects, but it's sitting over there with the likes of a regular vise that I made with Tom Latney 3 years ago, and other things like that that need to be finished. Basically, all of the parts and components are forged for it. We did that in the streams, but now it requires me doing a lot of filing and hand fitting work. Doesn't exactly make riveting content. Me just sitting there screeching with a file for 7-8 hours. So I've been really, it just went to the back burner, and occasionally I pull it out and do a little bit on it here or there. I haven't done anything on it for probably a year right now. It's been sitting in that bucket for. But yeah, I was thinking about possibly doing a finish up type series on those. You know, doing that and maybe showing the final fit up and done project, if you will. You know, I was thinking about doing that eventually. But yeah, a lot of the work is just not really conducive. No one would watch the live stream, basically. If you had to see me file for 7 hours straight, you may think that sounds fun, but I can assure you, it is not fun. You put on a good audio book and then file some more, and file some more. So, yeah. Quite boring and monotonous.
Also, Gordon Farmer asked, can I ask when Roy is going to do the pitchfork tine compass?
Again, I didn't hear.
The pitchfork tine compass?
Great question. I cut off some pitchfork tines, was going to do a video on it, messed up the ends. I roasted them, basically. It went to garbage, so I was in a rush. I had other stuff I had to work on, so eventually it'll happen. I was that close to making a video on it, and actually I filmed a whole half a video of it, and then it burned up, so I lost the project, which doesn't help when it's a tutorial. I was filming it in tutorial format, and well, that's the problem with tutorials. If what you're working on doesn't work out, then you have nothing to tutorialize going forward. You have to go back to the beginning and start all over. But yeah, that'll be coming out soon. Thanks for the reminder on that, letting people know. We will be doing that again here soon. I'm going to check this against my thing, and we're probably going to go back over to the horn. Okay. This needs to come out very little. Just give it a little bit of a straighten there, that sharp bend. I might have to tighten that end back up just a fuzz, but we'll check it up over here again. I don't know if they can even see back here, can they? Yeah. Can you see back here? Okay. It's not imperative that these, it's not super critical that all these be like perfect, but you want them to get, you want them to be ballpark close. Okay, so I'm matching the lower end's matching. Like I said, it needs to go just a bit more there. Give it a pop this way to keep it square and flush. And now I've got, looks like I've got too tight of a bend up top, so I need to loosen the bend up top, and that'll be perfect. That'll be right on. So right in here, this bend here is a little too tight, so I need to heat it up, bring it over to the thicker portion of the anvil here, where you can see a little bit of air gap there while it's hot, and just give it a few pops like this, and that should take that tight radius out. So we'll go ahead and do that now. And then that leg will be done for now. And we start the tapering on the next one. And before we do all of that, I'm going to give something else away.
Real quick, let me squeeze these in here before they get scrolled away. Doe Creek Forge, thank you for the super chat. He says, coffee, need coffee.
Yes, coffee. Need the coffee. Want the coffee.
Also, Baby Daddy IOD, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, keep up the good work. Love the channel, as always.
Thank you very much. It just sounds weird to say out his screen name, Baby Daddy. Thank you, Baby Daddy. Say it all creepy like, thank you, Baby Daddy. Right there. Jeez. See, you don't have to have coffee or other elixirs to have fun. That's what they tell me. I'm still trying to get with that vibe. Gosh, I need to get some coffee. I love my coffee. All right. Are we ready to give something away? Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. But make sure that's not burning up. Okay, we're still golden. All right, go to the camera number 2. So I made this Flux spoon here recently for all you overfluxers out there. Don't ask me what size this is. It's probably 2 tablespoons worth of flux per joint. So, but yeah, I made a whole video series on it. You guys can go check that out on the channel. I'm going to give this away to one lucky recipient. Hopefully somebody will enjoy it. And we will do that now. So you guys know the drill. We're going to ring the anvil. You have to comment a phrase in the comment section down below. And we will draw at random. Again, this is open to anybody worldwide. So all you got to do is comment. We ready? Yes. Are they wearing their thumbs out?
Only 2 people so far.
What?
Only 2 people.
Oh, there's only 2 people in the stream now?
No, there's only 2 people who commented when you asked that.
Oh, okay. It's a few more now? Yeah. There's well, I don't know. We might only give it to them 2 people, huh? If nobody comments, huh? I guess. I don't know. Let's roll this dice and find out, huh? All right. Ready? Yep. I wonder if their fingers are blistering yet. Ready, set, go. What do we got?
All right, I landed on Michael Crane, who says, coffee is life.
Amen, brother. Amen. Coffee is life. Michael Crane, congratulations, sir. You are the winner of the Flux spoon. Like it or not, whether you want it or not, you are the winner. Get with us through the contact link down in the description down below, and we will get that shipped out to you. Thank you for being part of the stream and being here, supporting us on your Friday night. Appreciate that. All right, let's go back to the anvil, Jess. We'll straighten this a bit. Again, going back to the thick part of the anvil. I'm just trying to hammer out and ease off that radius a bit more. Again, if you're using a wooden hammer or if you're using a rawhide mallet like this, you can do this type work without damaging the steel. So putting hammer marks into your work just for the bending operation. Perfect. Or close enough to being away from the camera so I can tell you it's perfect. It is perfect. Trust me. It's perfect in every way. All right. Get that brushed. Get all the excess scale on it cleaned off. Get cleaned up. Looks good. All right, bring that other piece over. Are we at the anvil still? Okay, bring this piece over here. And hopefully I can show how those are kind of interrelating now. Look nice? Yeah, those look good. 2 nice even feet? Yep. Good? Nice. Awesome.
That reminds me of another project you did a number of years ago. The decorative tree stand for knives and tomahawks. Is that similar to the process you used with that?
Very similar for the branch work. Then I forge welded all the branches together and then cut those off and then added them to other forks and then made a whole tree this way. So, yep. All right, so that's done for right now. As I've done in the past, I'm gonna go ahead and let this cool down. If you've noticed, this is a bit taller than our drawing, but I'll show that off here in a second. Can they see this in the main cam? Okay, so this here, we've got way too much stock length up here. As I said before, it's better to have too much than not enough. So we will be removing, we won't need all of this material here. That's fine. I knew that to begin with. I just wanted to have extra there to work with. So we will have to chop that off. And I'll just show you what I mean by pulling this drawing over here. Let me figure myself out in life, guys. Give me a second. Can I have a minute? Give me a second. Let me set down over here on the concrete. So on our drawing, if you could tell, those are really short, see? So we don't need 18 inches in length going up the piece before we wrap those. One, it eats up a lot of material. Two, it's not needed for our joint. So really, we're gonna have to figure out where we want to be at after these bends. This here is roughly like 3 to 4 inches, I'm thinking. I haven't measured it, but if it is, then above that, we're gonna cut, say, 2 to 3 inches, maybe 2 inches, and we're gonna draw that out into a nice taper and then make that our wrap above where we're gonna do our slit and drifted holes. As you can see, that's right above that bend. So that 3 inches starts right at where that 90-degree bend is. So that's what we're gonna work on there, after I draw out the next leg. I gotta draw out the other leg though. So keep doing that. And like I said, I would have done this, all the tapering work on the power hammer, but I got a little bird family living in the power hammer right now. So I used to be heartless when I was a young man, and I'm getting soft in my old age because now I'm all like, oh, look at the little birdies. When I was a little younger, I'd be like, not my fault they're in my power hammer. Get out. Oh. Ah, the ignorant days of Roy.
Let's see here. Chris Schaefer says, just got my stickers. Love it. Glad they made it to you safely. Awesome. Gordon Farmer, thank you for the super chat. Says, get Roy a coffee pot for the forge. Coffee pot.
Ooh, it could be coffee nonstop. I could have it come straight out of the percolator and into a vein while I'm working. Or it could be like one of those little rabbit dripper things. I just come over here and just get a little coffee every now and then when I get thirsty. It'd just be like right here, a little bottle. I just reach up out of frame and let it go back. What do you think, Jess?
Yeah, let's go for that.
Oh, brother. All right, it's not late enough yet to get goofy, so I'm not nowhere near that tired. Want to give something else away? Yeah. All right, let's do it.
Either sticker packs or the power plant.
Let's do these. Yep. So Jessica didn't make up new one of these, so just picture these are coupons for power hammer plans. Use your imagination. We'll keep it from a distance. There you go. Right? All right. So we're going to give away like 3 of these. And yeah, for the beam hammer plans over on the website. So if you guys haven't got the beam hammer plans, power hammer plans, these will be 3 coupons for free. So all you got to do is get in contact with us with your contact, and then we will email you the link for the coupon so you can get your own, free set of beam hammer plans if you'd like to do that. If you're not sure what the beam hammer is, there is a whole video series on YouTube here on the channel where I built an entire power hammer, beam hammer from scratch. So definitely check that out. It was a fun build. It wasn't a how-to build video, but you get kind of the gist of it in the video through the time lapses and stuff like that. And I made plans for it, and I sell them. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and draw for the first name, Jessica. I will get the hammer. Ready? Yes, I'm ready. Is everybody happy? They are, yeah. Most people happy? Plans, yay. Free plans? Yay? All right, ready? Just comment down below. What do we got?
I landed on Techronmatic, who says free plans, yay.
Techronmatic, congratulations. You got the beam hammer plans, buddy. Contact us through the contact link in the description. Let's go ahead and draw for another one, hun. Ready? Yep. Set? Go. Who we got?
All right. This time I landed on Minster Hill Forge, who says me.
Minster Hill Forge, congratulations. Me works for that one.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to do a phrase next one.
Phrase. Supposed to be phrases. So, yes. Jessica shall go for the phrase. All right, ready? And let's go for the last one. You ready? Yeah. Set, go.
All right, this one I landed on Wick Designs, who says LOL, opposite end, nice.
Opposite end, nice. Okay. Congratulations. Contact link down in the description down below. Sound like he was having a side conversation there that I was not meant to be privy to. Opposite end, nice. All right. That is almost there. Any comments, Jess? Questions?
Yes. Somebody said, beam me up. That was a good one. That would have been a real good one. For those of you who have not been over to our Instagram lately, we did post a picture of Roy that one of the viewers had made up for us. They photoshopped, what's that called, Roy? With the Viking vest? Braveheart, yes. Yes. Yeah, so you should go over and comment on that if you haven't seen it yet, because it was pretty funny. That was an epic stream.
Yes, it was. There's plenty of epic streams out there, especially when I've had 3 containers of coffee. No. All right. I'm not an addict. I can quit anytime I want. All right, let's go over the handful. Let's do that. Again, we're going to focus on the tip. Draw that material down first, so we have somewhere to go to. And at about this heat, we're going to stop hammering on it. Again, this is 5/8 inch thick round rod. And with it being that thick, you really need to keep it in the upper temperatures, almost welding heat, while working it, as not to tucker yourself out. There you go. Yep. Comments, questions?
Christmas episode all year round.
Exactly.
We could. We could indeed.
Make it 365 days of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I have to get one killer air conditioner in here, though.
Oh, let's see. There was a lot of people chanting Roy rants earlier. Do you have a good Roy rant for the people this evening?
No, no one's fired me up here lately.
Okay.
Oh, well, you know what? No, I do have one. Okay. I do have one coming. Yeah, let's see how this looks. You ready for this one? This is a good one. Gotta have my glove on. Gotta make sure I don't burn my steel up while I'm running my mouth. So, I guess one good Roy rant here. This is just a little bit of a thing that I have noticed since being on YouTube. There is a whole lot of people who are no better than racketeers. They're no better than racketeers on YouTube. They look for things to take advantage of, to grow their personal brand or whatever. And they do it under a false narrative of altruism and caring, but the reality is those people actually are not impacted or affected in any way by the things that they're necessarily standing for or standing up. It's more they've done something to get you to click to watch a video so they could serve you ads, so they could mention their merch or whatever. And again, they're profiteering off of somebody else's pain or suffering or things like that. And that is something that here on my channel, I strive real hard and pray very vehemently to make sure that I don't do that. And you know, if you do have a channel and you're out there and you're one of those people, you really ought to think about stopping doing that. Because it's just kind of against your personal character. Now, I've seen that a lot. I'm not talking about anybody in general. You just look at the trending feed, and you'll see everyone I'm talking about. So, look at the trending feed on YouTube, and you'll see that. And sadly enough, it's a trend on Instagram. It's a trend on Facebook. It's a trend all over the place right now. And oftentimes, I've been asked couple times what I think about current events, world events, things like that, this, that, what have you. And I remain mainly silent because, one, everyone has an opinion, and that's not what my channel's about. My channel is about blacksmithing. That's rule number one. It's not about politics or anything else. It's about forging and education. So that's number one. And number two, if you really want to care, turn off the ads for people. If you really care, don't plug your merch. Don't put Amazon affiliate links in your description. Because when you do those things and you're making a video, you're profiteering off of calamity. And that I personally have a lot against. So that's one of those personal things. And again, I get asked, oh, why don't you make a video on this? Or why don't you make a video on what's going on right now? Or what do you think about this? Something to have to do with politics, race, religion, whatevers. I don't, because it's not the subject of the channel. And those are my thoughts and my feelings on it when everybody asks me what I think about the current events today. Do I have opinions? Yeah, I do. But I don't need you to watch an ad to hear about them. So I give them to you for free. I will talk a dog off a T-bone steak. All you gotta do is give me license to do so. What's up? Good? Now I'll let you all have your way in the comments. All right, let's go. This thing's hot. Heat it back up. I imagine that was an interesting comment section for 30 seconds, huh?
It was. It got real interesting. Drayson's Forge says, so releasing Blacksmith Lives Matter t-shirt is probably bad timing. Crying face. Probably. Matt Bonnie says, good for you, Roy. Principles are important. Gordon Farmer says, hashtag we are Blacksmith family. And Spencer Coots, it's called Christ-centered Ironworks, not politics-centered liberalism and conspiracies.
Or all of the above. Oh. Yeah, no, Yeah, it's one of those things. You know, I don't appreciate, like, or otherwise spend any time with two-faced people. I just don't. I can sniff you out a mile away. If you're being two-faced with me, oh, I know it right away. I know, I can sense a lie coming. I've been done that way a lot in my life, so I'm real good at noticing that. And you just see people, oh, it's a shame. It's time to take a stand. It's this, it's that, it's that. Check out my Instagram. Go subscribe to me on Snapchat. I'll be over there crying. I swear I will. Yeah, well, they're streaming on Twitch and, you know, they're getting paid $5 a viewer over there, you know, on Twitch, and they've got, you know, 500,000 people show up. They're crying real hard, real hard. And they'll always do some lame charity too. It's a lame excuse. You know, it's like, oh yeah, you can donate your money to this charity. While you're watching the stream, then I'm getting paid like 50 grand in, and I'm not donating a thing, but you can, because I provided a link down below, because YouTube gives me a settings feature that I can just go click, sure, I want to have a charitable thing down at the bottom. It costs them nothing. It costs them nothing to do that sort of thing. And so it's a lot of fake stuff like that. And then what really chaps my gourd is I've been on YouTube now for 3.5 years, nearly, longer than that, but actively pursuing YouTube. And I'll have a video that'll get 500 views, and you'll have these morons get 50,000 or 500,000 or 5 million views on something where they're not even being real with you. I give away stuff, I do things, I try to be out there, and sometimes that feels exhausting. It does, it feels exhausting to constantly being the goody two-shoes guy, right? And constantly giving stuff away and trying to inspire the next generation of blacksmiths, right? And if you were just looking at the numbers, it would not be valuable. It just wouldn't. It wouldn't be valuable to do that. So you become a two-faced person to make whatever numbers you can get, right? Like whatever clickbait things you can do. I'm leaving YouTube. It's over. It's all over. And you get there and they tell you all the reasons why they're not leaving YouTube. They suckered you into clicking. You watched an ad for them. You bought a t-shirt. They gave you a sob story. And then, you know, they laugh all the way to the money bank when it comes to that. So, you know, for me, what matters most to me are the touching stories that I get where people tell me like, hey, you really helped me with this thing, or hey, wow, you know, I've really thought about things different since, you know, I've gotten to know you. You know, I've started up my own forge, or I lost my job in December, and ever since I took your business advice, and hey, I've been making it as a full-time blacksmith now. Like that type stuff is what makes doing the content, even if it's not salacious, even if it's not bikini wearing, you know, type content that I know you all want to see. You know, that type stuff, I'm proud to continue to offer that type content for those singular voices that it really does help out, that let me know that they appreciate what we're doing. So you asked for a rant, you got a rant. There you go. That's a rant. Oh. Show people love on training.
Yama says, I hear you, Roy, but we love doing it. That's the value.
Yeah. Ready to go to the anvil? Let's go to the anvil. Good and hot. Stop the yakking and get to whacking. There we have it. It's going. Slow but going.
Yes. I say yes. Gordon Farmer, thank you for the super chat. It says, Roy rules the rants, and I agree, Roy. And also, I had a comment. I was trying to find it earlier. Sorry about that, Hans. I was going to read it out, but he sent a super chat with it. And he said, Roy, could you not take the cold steel that's bent already in the way you want and hold the hot one against them to match them up? I've done it with tongs, and that's why I ask.
Yep. My preferred method of doing that would be with bending forks. I would lock the piece in a bending fork. I'd put it in a bending fork, the main piece I'm matching it to, and then I would lay the other piece in that same bending fork and then use a top bending fork to apply leverage around the piece. When you're using a bending fork method or tongs, you've got to have excuse me, you've got to have at least 3 points of contact to really do things accurately. If you try to do it out in midair with a pair of tongs, it's not really any better than, say, like using a hand hammer. Some people find that a little bit, they find that more comfortable to do, obviously. But if you've got a bending fork and the anvil, which I do have those. The point of this project was to show you how you don't need a ton of special tools to build something big, larger scale in your shop without those. But I do have a bending fork I can drop in the anvil and do that, and it would make it bending it a lot easier in that direction, especially when you have a bunch of them to do. So yes, Hans, you're great. You're right, and thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you. Great question. And for those of you who don't know Hans yet at Charming Hollow Forge, you should check out his channel. He's a great guy, longtime supporter of us around here. Yeah, he's got a cool project he's working on with some headdresses, Indian headdress things, stuff. I won't say too much, you can check him out. You should be able to click on his little icon and click go to channel, and it should drop us down, minimize if you're on mobile, and you should be able to go over there and subscribe. I suggest you do. Go check him out.
Let's see. There's a lot of, they're saying, my eyes. They're just picturing you in a bikini, and they're like, that was terrible. A terrible comment.
Does it help? I do.
Does that help?
Yes. This? Huh? It's still the same picture, huh? From there down.
Speargrass Forge. Now I have a terrifying mental image of Roy in a bikini. Thanks, Roy.
You're welcome. Sweet dreams. Sweet dreams. He's going to wake up with night terrors tonight, Ah! No!
On a lighter note, Brute Lemon says, your channel has inspired me to get into the art. My anvil finally arrived this week and can't wait to begin.
Awesome. Awesome. Congrats. All right, this is hot. Let's go ahead and start hammering on it. I would measure right now, but it would probably be disheartening. You'd be like, that's got to be 14 inches, right? You measure it, it's like 9.5. You're like, oh man, I still got to go even more. Yeah, just like I said, 9.5. I hate when I'm right. I hate when I'm right. That's such work, such times. As a guy up in Canada says, Lou later, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive.
Let's see here. Thank you, Menster Hill Forge, for the super chat. Says, thank you. Hey, Jessica and Roy, loved your channel. Newish at blacksmithing. What would you recommend to improve my hammer control?
Great question. I have a video exactly on this. It's one on improving hammer accuracy. It's hammer accuracy. It's got like a target on it. It's a really old video that I did. But basically, the way that I was taught to help improve your accuracy, I don't have a piece of soapstone, otherwise I'd show you. But it's basically to draw an X on your anvil top, or a chunk of wood, or whatever you got at handy, and then just practice hitting that center of that X until it wears off, right? And then you draw another X, and you continue to do that. Get turned to your anvil like you're going to be standing, get it set up, and constantly try to drive that X. And as you do that, you develop that hand-eye control for hammer accuracy that way. It's important that you have a nice loose body posture. You don't want to be all locked up. This isn't something you can muscle through. You have to let the hammer do the work. When I'm working with this hammer, I'm lifting the hammer on the upstroke, and then I'm just bringing my arm down, and it's the velocity and the mass of the hammer that is doing the work on the piece. It's not me punching the piece like this. It's not a power down stroke. I'm just bringing my arm down quickly, and it's that hammer that's doing the work. So that would be it. So practice to be able to do that with your hammer and hit that X in the center every time. Piece of soapstone, piece of chalk, magic marker, it'll never disappear if you do it that way. But you know, and just keep doing that, and then repetitively try to hit that one spot. And that's how you can improve your hammer accuracy by a ton. And trust me, it does work. It really does work.
Yama says, not straight on the anvil?
Preferably not. This is good and hot. Let's go to the anvil. All right. Let's see how this looks. Remember, we do have to round this up, so it's going to stretch more as we round it up. So we're going to check the length. Yep, we're right at 13 inches now. That's where we started rounding before. So now we'll work on that. We've got a little area to thin here, and then round this up. So we're going to keep rounding as we go through the piece.
Question about that. It looked like on your previous taper you did that you had already rounded the tip at first while you're still drawing out on the back side of that taper. Does it matter when you're working with a long taper at which stage the different parts of the taper get rounded?
Preferably you want the whole thing square, octagon, round. Perfect world, that's the way it works. I was drawing it round and it didn't quite come out to dimension, so I needed to draw a little more material from the thick end. I needed to draw out a little more material from the thick end in order to make up the length I was lacking. And then I rounded it off. So that's what that was. It was just a correction of not having long enough of a taper before I went to rounding it up. So you can always, after you've rounded something up, it's round again, you can just reforge it. You can re-taper it again. You know, you can forge more on it, turn it square, octagon, and round again. So, you know, preferably in the order of operations, ideally, you would already have this thing, you would have it perfect the first time off. And when you're done rounding, it comes out to exactly the length you're looking for. But that's not always the case. Great question, Jess.
There was a comment from Zachary Breland who said, man, I can't wait until I get an anvil with a horn. Is there specific procedures that are best done on an anvil, like the horn of an anvil, that you can't necessarily do with a large bic?
Like what I'm doing here, drawing out, if you have a thick enough, substantial enough horn, like Olga has here, this is about 6 inches in diameter, the horn is. So there's enough mass there that I can draw out real close to the anvil body and get a fullering action. If you don't have an anvil with a horn, you can always make a fullering block, something that sits in this hardy hole that is like a fuller. It's like a big dome, and you can draw out over that to make things easier for you. You can also use a method if you have a anvil that has a lot of really big radiused edges on it. You can use a method that Brian Brazil uses, which he breaks down the stock at the edges. He uses the edges of the anvil and the hammer to fuller the material. So you could use that method. That's fairly involved, and you really ought to have some training learning that method. Otherwise, you're going to get really choppy work just trying to go at it alone. But other than that, that's what I would recommend if you don't have a horn. You could stick a round bar and bend it over in your hardy hole or something like that and use it as a bottom fuller and make that work. So, this is hot. Let's go back to the anvil. Okay. All right. Focus on here, out at the tip. Draw that all the way back. Again, trying to go to octagon. And then to round. There's only so far. I'm just taking advantage of the heat. Wherever the heat's at, I'm trying to use to my best advantage. It's a little thick. You can draw it out before you go completely around. Beautiful. Okay. Need to clean off my hammer working end here, my handheld end. And then we'll take some more comments and we'll give something else away. How's that sound?
Sounds good. You ready for the next comment?
Yeah.
Okay. This one along the lines of the horn. Brett Larson says, Roy, it looks like you prefer the horn on your left. Is there a specific reason for it? What's the benefit of it being on one side versus the other?
Great question, Brett. I will tell you here in just a second, sir. So, my purpose for having the horn to the left of the anvil versus the right of the anvil is that the hardy hole is in the left of the anvil. It's near the round horn, and I like to have my hardy tool. I'll try to illustrate this here for a second. If I'm doing work and I forget that my hardy tool is up here and I'm swinging right-handed, if that's to the left, as you're at the main anvil, Cam? Are you at the anvil? Down there, second, Cam? Okay. If I cut something off, I'm not going to, bam, 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 right? I cut something off, and now I need a hammer on it. My knuckles are nowhere close to this hardy tool. But if the hardy tool was, say, over here, and the hardy hole was over here, and I cut something off, and I'm a right-handed smith, and I go to hammer on it again, I could lose some digits. So that's why I prefer the hardy to the left. It's not so much the horn. I can work the horn either way. It doesn't matter to me. And in fact, I'm ambidextrous, so I can swing a hammer with my left hand if I want to. So I can swing this way, but again, that wouldn't make sense for me, so I would orient the horn the other way if I was swinging left-handed, because there's always this danger that you could come down on this, this Hardy tool. So that's why I prefer the Hardy tool in that orientation, if that makes sense. On my other anvil, I had a 300-pound, long before I went to YouTube, I had a 300-pound anvil, London pattern, and I had the horn to the right. I had it over here because the Hardy hole was to the left, because I predominantly swing with my right arm. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yes. Speargrass seconds that. He says that's his reason for the orientation as well. Cheers for the validation, Roy.
Speargrass said. Good. There's not a right and wrong way there. If you prefer the Hardy tool horn whichever way, go with the horn whichever way. It's just an extra precautionary step you can take by orienting the Hardy hole away from your hammer hand. If you're making nails or small rivets and you got a lot of repetitive work, it's really annoying to keep taking the Hardy tool off the end, back on the end, off the anvil, back on the anvil, off the anvil, back on the anvil. And it's a lot more efficient to just get the work done, hammer out your next bit, cut it off, right, heat it up, do whatever you gotta do, hammer out your, cut it off all the way, hammer off the next bit, so on and so forth. It's a lot more efficient to always have the Hardy there at the ready. So I hope that answers that. It does really well. By the way, before we go on any more questions, how many people we have in the stream? And what time are we about?
We are sitting at 85 viewers.
Okay, right on.
Yep, 85 viewers and coming up close on 7.
Okay, you all are getting lucky today. So, the Anvil stream we had 400 viewers. The stream before that we had 300 and some odd viewers, and apparently YouTube decided we no likey Christ-centered Ironworks today. No, they didn't send out the notifications apparently. So you guys are getting a light stream, so your odds have increased tenfold at winning something. One of these days, that's going to pay off. It's going to pay off. Trust me. We're going to be giving away a lot of things in one stream, and then if there's only 20 people in here, they're probably going to win a lot. So it'll pay off for the dedicated ones, the ones that subscribe and hit that bell for notifications and set it for all notifications so you can see this smiling face every time I go live, because I'm important and I'm important in your life. Little snark there.
I was going to say, you have a nice advertising voice there.
I do. Buy now. $9.95. Ding. I need that little shiny tooth thing they do. Oh, somebody changed the sign to green.
Did. That was Wiley Archangel Craftswork, $5 super chat, who says another couple posts and we'll have enough for the CCIW pinup calendar.
Oh, that's good. Oh, man. Your wife sees you looking at the pinup calendar of me. I don't want to be there when that happens. It's like, what are you doing? Like, oh yeah, looking at Mr. November right there. I love seeing my wife blush. It's great. She just sits there and she shakes her head like, why am I married to you? The real answer is neither one of us know. Neither one of us know.
I never
she
stopped
got
laughing
stuck with
you.
me, I guess. Oh, huh?
I never stopped laughing with you.
No. Laughing at me or laughing with me? Oh, with me, okay. Just had to clarify. I'm entertaining. Hours and hours upon hours of entertainment.
Charming Hollow says that's going to be a hairy calendar.
Oh man, it doesn't bear to think. It really doesn't on that. That's why there's only 83 people in this stream, because of that original comment. Right? That's what it is. Everybody's like, oh no, hey, no, none of that business. Let's go to the anvil, Jess. Good and hot. Alrighty. Side that need to be thinned out a little bit. And now we're going to just continue to round this up. See, that second one went a lot quicker. I must have warmed up or something. About time for another giveaway item, ain't it? I've made people wait long enough.
There's already
10 calendars?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Lord, help their unbridled souls.
That's just from 2 people.
That's for 2. What do they have plans to do with them calendars? All right, brush that down. Looking better all the time. This is literally like watching paint dry. Especially if you do a lot of tapers in your life. This is like watching paint dry. This is like the closest approximation to watching paint dry there ever is.
That's all right. The comments are keeping us entertained.
Are they?
They are.
Are they now? Let's go ahead and give away a couple sticker packs.
Okay. Giving away some stickers.
We'll probably finish off the stream with the last pair of tongs. What do you think? We haven't given those away yet, right? Okay, we still got those to do. Good. Alrighty. Sticker packs, sticker packs, sticker packs. Thank you all for being here. Hopefully this will bless you. Hopefully you can stick these proudly on a toolbox somewhere or, you know, company truck. Nope, don't do that. Find your local atheist and just plonk it right down on there. Don't do that, seriously. I never said that. That's it. I never said that. I have toyed around with that idea a bit in my head. I thought that would be pretty hilarious. I don't know if they'd find it hilarious, but I would think it's hilarious because I would find it hilarious if somebody did that to my car. But a different kind of sticker, you know. I would find it pretty funny. And then I'd been like, all right, well, now I got to scrape this off. But yeah, I find weird humor like that. Anyways, so who wants some stickers? Anybody saying sticker me? Sticker me, please. All right. This has the coveted You're the Anvil sticker in it. So someone's going to get lucky and win that. And we'll give away, what, 2 or 3 of these, Jess?
Yeah.
Well, I watch this. Okay, let's give away 4. All right, let's give away 4 of them. And hopefully I don't burn up my steel. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Who we?
All right, Brute Lemon, who says, are those stickers waterproof?
Brute Lemon, congratulations. Yes, they are, I think. They're a vinyl. They're a heavy-duty vinyl, so I think vinyl's waterproof. So congratulations, Brute Lemon. I think we already got his address, don't we?
We might. I'll ask you guys.
Okay, if we don't, I don't know, contact us in the contact link down below. Nonetheless, Brute Lemon, congratulations. All right, let's give away another set. And then I'll take this heat, and then I'll come back and do some more. Okay?
Yep.
Set, go.
All right, we got Blue Nose Forge, who says, would love a Christ-centered Ironworks sticker.
Blue Nose Forge, congratulations, you won. Get down with us in the contact link down in the description, good sir. And thank you to whoever sent the orange.
Yeah, that was the sprinkled down.
Sprinkled down it for us, thank you. Thank you. Oh, all right, round this up even more. Good, Dana, thank you. For those of you who don't know already, Dana Maggiore is the guy you want to see about stickers. He's the man about town when it comes to that. Great supporter of the channel and has always been so gracious to us to provide us those stickers. so we can provide them to you free of charge. So everybody give Dana a round of applause. And to all the people who have super chatted tonight, I'd like to see a round of clappy hands down below. All right, almost there, almost fully rounded. Got a little longer to go here. Right up the piece. Got the thickest portion to work on now. Mr. Dana, the sticker smith, huh? That he is. That he is. Thank you, Dana. Appreciate it. Are we good to roll the other two or space it out a little? Yes, let's do that. Thank you for reminding my brain. You're welcome. My brain thanks you. More stickers. Who wants them? Comment down below. Set. All right. I'm assuming it's down below, but if you're on a TV, that's on the side, ain't it? It's on the side, and you really can't comment unless you're on your phone. So again, comment down below. Ready, set, go.
All right, this one's the Sprinkle Donut Forge who says, thank you, Roy, for all you do.
You're welcome, Sprinkle Donut Forge. Thank you for being here. And if you want some stickers, contact us down below at the content link. You know how to do it. Press the button. Press the button. All right, we ready? Yeah. One more. Ready? Set. Are you ready? Yeah. You sure? You positive? Yeah. See her face? It looks positive. That's a positive looking face. All right, here we go. Who we got?
All right, here we go. Now you can hear me. Wiley Archangel Craftworks says, the phrase that pays.
The phrase that pays. Congratulations, Wiley. Contact us. Contact link down below. Get you some stickers, my brother. Appreciate it. All right. A little more round up work there. And then we can do a bend.
Ice cream stickers?
Huh?
Somebody said ice cream stickers.
No.
No, we don't have any of those.
Yeah. This shirt's a little bit baggy for me.
Cody Still Wagner wants to know if the stickers come with a calendar.
Nope. Not yet. Are we at the anvil? We are now? Yes. All right, good. All righty. So I'm going to continue to round this up nice like. All right, that looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Give it a good brushing. And there you have it. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Just got to bend it to the shape of the other one, and
Yeah, that's a pretty smooth taper.
pretty smooth. It's good that you're about 20 feet away. No, it's really not bad. It matches the forging structure of the rest of the piece, so we're going to keep it like that. Oh, that's good. No need in going overboard with this. Need to cool this off. There's my tongs. of making it perfectly smooth.
Plus, that portion of it's meant to be sunk into the ground anyway, so.
Yeah, it's a lower portion, but it'll match the rest of the tapers and the rest of the structure of the piece, so, for texture. So that's the important part. All right. Now we heat it and we bend it. We heat it and we bend it. We bend it and we heat it. And we heat it and we beat it.
Uncle Buck's Forge, thank you for the $10 super chat, and Gordon Farmer for the £2 super chat.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you for keeping this stream alive. Greatly appreciate everybody who's come out this evening and spent time with us. So thank you, thank you, thank you very, very, very much. Do appreciate each and every last one of you. Really do.
Wiley says, I have a couple of atheists on the block. He, he, he.
Oh, no. Oh, no. If you do, just don't reference this video. Oh, just don't reference this video. Oh, man.
Brian Neely says, Bikini Roy stickers? Question mark. It's already hard enough to get the image out of my head without a sticker that I couldn't remove.
A bikini? A Bikini Roy sit. We could make that happen. I think we could make that happen. You guys have got to realize by now, if I'm not instructing directly from smithing something here at the forge and to the anvil, I'm usually just running my mouth. So you can like basically tune out. You could tune out every word I say beyond me hammering and instructing, giving specific instructions. So I like to goof around quite a bit. It's my personality. It's what I do.
Uncle Buck said, well, I was about to fall asleep, but that calendar idea woke me up. Scary idea.
Yeah. Hey, aren't you supposed to be working? That'll keep you up at work. Very haunting, no matter where you're at in the world. Oh. Oh. What do you think we give away these next pair of tongs? That way I don't forget about it.
Yeah, we
What do you think? Sure. Yeah? That way those who want to stay around, they can stay around. Those who want to bounce, they can bounce. And
yeah, let me give a warning so we have at least 5 people type in the comment this time.
oh, you want to give a little warning? Yeah. Okay. There's their warning. They should have been talking this whole time. Oh, let them know. Let them know if they're not paying attention. We're going to draw for these other pair. These are a pair of bolt jaw tongs. Hopefully they'll go out to somebody who needs them. Again, we'll ship any of these anywhere around the world. Just thank you for being here. Nothing you have to do to apply or win other than just enjoy the stream and be part of the community. That's basically it. And it's that community that supports this stream, changing that color of that sign to all sorts of beautiful colors. And they're the ones that we like to take and acknowledge, and you can just thank them. Again, these tongs were even given to us by subscriptions and people who are supportive of our stream, right? You know? Name. Sorry. Couch Forge Company. Sorry. Names. I'm bad with them. I need to remember. Couch Forge Company. This is provided by him. So, you know, exactly. And then the shipping that gets it to you, provided by you all, the viewers, doing the super chats and stuff. So again, just join the family, join the online community that we got here around our channel and around all of YouTube, this Blacksmith family community. It's really worth you doing and investing time into because we'll invest just as much back if we can and where we can. Huh? Ain't that right?
That's correct.
Yeah? Okay. All right. Well, are they all been commenting long enough? Yep. Okay. Gotta make sure this isn't burning. It's getting close, so let's go ahead and draw for them and go. Who we got?
All right, this pair will be going to Sister Donut Forge, who said receiving tongs would be awesome.
Hey, all right. Is this Sister Donut? Yeah, Sister Donut, congratulations. Or is it Sister Duncan?
No, Sister Donut.
Sister Donut, congratulations. Hopefully you enjoy these tongs. Get with us, contact link down in the description, and we will ship them right out to you. Without further ado, let's go back to the anvil while this is hot. we're going to hit it once. And hit it twice. And maybe 3. All right, that's annoying. I'll shut up now. Oh, I could keep it going. I just don't think anybody would be here while I continue to keep it going. They'd be like, that's it, I'm done. Roy's ruined me. Nope, not long enough. We'll have to do more. This must have came out a lot shorter. Or I was lazier on my taper on this one. Oh, that's right. I had to bend the leg up. Brain's going on me. My fire pot's only so deep. My border crossed here, and I've ran out of Coke. I don't want to have to run over there and get some more. I need to stove up some more Coke. So what I've done is I've started my bend, and it's starting to kind of radius things up out of the way, so this way I could get it deeper into the fire and get it hotter and continue on with the work. So that's my story, keeping to it, sticking to it. Got to get a little bit more material there. If you're going to be doing several of these, or maybe even one, it might be good to take and make a jig to bend these around, or some sort of fixture plate that you can do this work in. It really will help out if you need to make everything exactly carbon copy the same. Since this is a tri-legged design, basically a tripod, it will sit level on any ground. It'll automatically kind of just it won't tip type deal. So if one leg's just a hair longer or whatever, it's not going to matter because it's going to be stuffed down in the dirt anyhow. So you want them close, but if it was like an 1/8 inch longer, it won't matter. If this was a table, however, with 4 legs, you'd want to take really care about this. Take really good care to make sure it's right. Let's go back to the anvil cam, Jess. Nice and hot. Bend it all nice like. Take that bend out. I'm gonna see what this looks like real quick against my other bend. All right. Yes, I sing to myself in the shop. I had a boss once tell me, in heating and air conditioning, and if the guys happens to be watching this live stream right now, probably not, but if he was, you know who you are, said, we could get monkeys to do your job. And I said, really? If you can get monkeys to do my job, what kind of monkey are you? Because you can't do my job. So that would make you dog food. He didn't like that answer, but no, I was a horrible employee, but yeah. I said, oh, I'm a monkey, am I? Touché. Good job, sir. You want to play ball, I see.
You can't claim that you're a terrible employee if maybe he wasn't such a great employer.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm sure I probably deserved it somewhat. But I was probably griping about who knows what, but yeah, I never remember that. He's like, we could get monkeys to do your job. I said, oh, you could, huh? If I'm a monkey, what kind of monkey are you? Insinuation, wink, wink, exclamation point. Too much fun. Now I'm glad I work for myself because I'm the only person I have to have arguments with, except for Jessica. She's a slave driver. She'll crack that whip. Nobody believes me. That's what makes it worse. She could snuff me out in my sleep. No one would believe she done it. It's scary, folks. scary over here at the Adams residence.
There's no way I could overpower you, so that's not a valid argument.
I said while I'm sleeping.
Well, yeah, but you would wake up.
Yes, I would. Better hit me with a board first, you know. A little less harmless that way. Let's go to the handful.
Okay.
That comment section must be lit right now. Interesting people with interesting thoughts and opinions on this subject weighing in.
Jem wants to know if you're delirious with heat.
Maybe. A little dehydrated. No, I just enjoy what I do. I really enjoy these Friday night streams. They give me a nice break from my normal day-to-day workload. I can have fun with them. Even if I can't be around everybody and their brother and hang out in person, I like having these streams because it's almost just as good. Yeah, that's almost perfect. I need to straighten that back out just a fuzz. Just a fuzzle. That's a Royism. Stick around the channel long enough, you're gonna hear a whole bunch of them called Royisms. This is where Hans would be 100% correct. He would say, heat it up. Use a pair of tongs, Roy. Stop kerfluffling around with it. Kerfluffling. And this is why parents shouldn't allow their children to watch. Because I'm giving them all sorts of bad grammar practices. Got to heat that up one more time and take it just a little bit more. You know, milk the stream for all it's worth.
Oh yeah, definitely. By the way, Metal Man, glad you could make it. He sent a $10 super chat and said, "Hi, all make." I think made it, I think is what he's saying. And also, the Sprinkle Donut Forge sent a $20 super chat who said, "Take Jess out to a nice dinner."
I would like to do that. Kind of hard to find a babysitter all the way up here in the north, but yeah, we do have friends though. Our dates are a little bit of, you know, we walk around the. We've got 8 acres here, so you know we walk our hiking paths we've cut in, and you know, it's pretty good. Watch a movie, stream a movie in the evening. You know, it's not bad. You know, take the kids out on hikes and things. Still, a nice all-adult date would be nice. Oh, every now and then. We're thinking about doing that next time we go down and see my folks down in Ohio, and just having a date night and letting the Mamaw watch them for a bit. That'd be nice. Yeah. Been, what, a year now since we've had one of those? Yeah. Oh, thank you for the super chat, by the way, Metal Man. Thank you. All right, so now I need to put in, I've got this one area that's kind of fighting me. There's a bit of a straight. I don't know if you guys can see it here. There's a bit of a curve here. There's a curve here, but there's a straight here. And so I need to take the curve out of the tip, and then I need to put the curve back where I need it. So that's kind of what was fighting me a little bit. So I'm going to look at that again. Good. And now all I got to do is straighten out that tip a little bit, and we're there. We're golden. Beautiful. Beautimus. Beautimus Maximus. And one more. One more. I lie. I lie, Steven. A lot. Okay, now let's see how it looks. This is a lot of the little fidgety stuff that usually I choose to do off camera. There. Perfect. That's what I'm going to call perfect. You guys can't see it from all the way back there, so perfect. It's nice and straight. Good to go. Brush her down real quick.
Spencer Coots says the 20th is Hike with the Geek Day. Hike with the Geek Day. I've never heard of that. Are you making that up, Spencer?
Well, Spencer, Jessica would be in good company with me, huh? Her geek of a husband here. Oh. All right. Well, there you have it. For better or worse, for richer or poorer, sickness and health, there she be. 2 legs done. Hopefully I can see that. Can they see that there? Can they see that? Okay. So the joinery on this is going to be a little on the trickier side. See how hot that is. Bring this along here. The joinery will be a little bit on the trickier side. Hold that up. Ah! Can they see that?
Yeah.
Should we go to camera number 2? They really can't see that much better, can they? Yeah, so there you go. So we're going to have that kind of tripod action going on there. Just like the drawing. All right, so that's done. So next live stream that we do, we will be working on we will be continuing this process, basically. So hopefully I will draw out the last little bits here, and I will have everything laid out to do our slit and drifted holes. Are we up at the main cam? Okay. Hopefully I will have all of the parts laid out so we can do our slit and drifted holes. So we will be ready to attach this together. Excuse me. Blah. So anyways, next stream we'll probably cut these, go ahead and taper out the little end scroll that we're supposed to do. So this way it fits our drawing that you can't see in the back. Hopefully you can see that. So it fits the drawing there. So we'll do that, and then we'll have our layout work done, preferably. Hopefully we'll have the layout work done, and we can go over that, and we'll do slit and drifted holes through this piece. So that's going to be pretty exciting, a lot of fun, I think. That is probably the most, as far as blacksmithing is concerned, that's probably the most technically challenging portion, is getting the slit and drifted holes done right. That's probably the most challenging portion of this project, other than the finish work. Again, getting that crane to hang right, so this way you can both lift it, slide it down, and it re-engage and bite and hold a pot and don't dump it into your fire and things like that. So that is, as I said, this is a deceptively difficult, or easy, deceptively easy or deceptively difficult. Can't remember what it should be. Deceptively easy, right? Or difficult. I don't know which one it's supposed to be. Which one? It's deceptive. It's hard, but it looks easy. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes, words, they happen. They happen to people all the time. Words. Oh, so there's your extra legs. Sorry we couldn't get more done in one evening, but that's 18 inches of stock. Well, no, 28 inches of stock, all tapered by hand. So Roy's a tired goose when it comes to that. If you haven't noticed, I'm kind of chubby, and I don't like working that hard. I have tools and equipment to work hard for me. And that makes this old guy lazy. I'm not old, just chubby. We'll say chubby. Not really fat, just chubby. That's what I'll call it. I'm yammering. What's going on?
Gordon Farmer, he asked this earlier. Also, a dumb question. Can a claw hammer be used as a bending jig?
Bending fork? Yeah. If you forged out the tines to be round in cross section where it wasn't causing galling or sharp bite marks on the piece, yeah, you could do that. It's already kind of a fork, basically. All you would have to do is just forge it out a little bit and smooth off the edges that are sharp, and then you could use it as kind of a bending fork. Yeah, totally possible. That's a great question on that. So I'm going to talk about at the end of this, since a lot of people, when they watch these, they kind of skip through them and kind of skip to the end and see what's coming up next. Some of the stuff that that'll be coming up next in this upcoming week is I have some pretty interesting videos going on. One video, speaking of which, that I'll be doing is I actually went to Ohio, and when I went to Ohio, I forged some swedge blocks, and I forged 3 swedge blocks in under 3 hours, so it was about 2 hours, 2.5 hours or so, and I was working with Brian and Ed Brazil, so I was showing them kind of how I forged swedge blocks, and I gave it to them as gifts and things. So I'll have some pictures of that in a video coming out of me forging those swedge blocks under an 88-pound yin-yang hammer. So that'll be a pretty interesting video, I think, I hope. So that should be some interesting content. I don't know if anybody will be interested in that. I think they will. So yeah. So that was my first experience getting to visit and, you know, hang out and actually have any meaningful conversation with Brian and Ed Brazil, and it was a good time. It was a good time. You know, talked a lot, learned a bunch. Yep, it was a good time. So, yeah. So if you guys get a chance to take a class with Brian or Ed Brazil, they're not too bad of guys. They're not big, mean, nasty ogres. They're good people. They are. They've got the student in mind. They try their best to teach, and they're all about the teaching. So you won't hear anything else out of their mouths basically the whole time. So again, cool guys for that. So I got a video like that coming out. I also have some classes coming up at the end of June. I have a scroll making class. I kind of got a little sample piece here of something. This won't be necessarily what we'll be working on in the class, but we will be talking about different forms of scrolls and things of that nature that you may produce. This was just a little bit of practice 20 minutes before we got started here, before I went live. I just wanted to play with that a little bit. So if you're interested in a scroll making class, that's at the end of June. You can contact Jamie Gear over in Goshen, Ohio. Is Goshen Blacksmith down there?
Facebook is Goshen Blacksmithing in Goshen, Ohio.
They can't hear you, so.
Oh, yes. Yes, we did an Instagram and a Facebook post also that has the details on that, but the Facebook Jamie runs is Blacksmithing in Goshen, Ohio. That's what it's called.
Yep. So if you're interested in learning some of the, some of the entry-level scrolls and how to make jigs, things like that, and then maybe eventually graduate, we might, explore some other type of forms. If we go up to main camera. So we might explore some other type forms like what you see here, which is like a leaf form, things like that. We might explore that time permitting, but it's a 2-day class. So if anybody's interested in that and you can make it out, definitely do so. Come check that out. Yeah, got a lot of great content coming ahead. It's just a matter of getting it out. I've got the next about month and a half, I think, of content videos shot, ready to go. So you'll see that release first thing Monday. We'll have another video out first thing Monday morning. And yeah, we'll just continue down this little YouTube rabbit hole that we have been on forever. It's like a hamster wheel. Just keep hustling. So, oh yeah, and we surpassed 1,400 videos now officially, and we are well on our way to 1,450 videos here on YouTube. So that's quite an accomplishment. I feel quite accomplished about that. Considering a good portion of those, I would say probably at least 1,000 videos are all tutorials. So in one way or another. Some of them are not. Some of them are a little bit more, talky type things, but most of them are tutorials on there. So, yeah, so I'm pretty proud of that. That's quite an accomplishment to get that out there. I imagine a lot of people in this stream has been with me from the beginning. So, thank you. Thank you for still being here and hanging out and watching us grow online as we go. And it's been one wild ride, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
Yep, up to this point. And we're still going. We're still going. Somehow, but we're still going. I always have something to teach, something to say. So, but yeah, pretty exciting stuff for the future. I don't know, do they think it's exciting, Jess, or what?
Yeah. Yes, they do. Yeah, Sprinkle Donut Forge says, Roy, the teacher. Brett Larson says, if I lived a little closer and could afford it, I would be at every class, Roy. The one over the weekend was great, and I recommend it to anyone who is able to go to them. Well worth the time.
Awesome. Thank you, Brett. Thank you for the glowing review, brother. Appreciate that. You're only over in Wisconsin. This is up across the pond. This little whoop. A little $600 jaunt. Just a little bloop. 2.5 hour ride across the state. You're there. No big deal. You can do it. Well, that would be to get to my house. Yeah, it's considerably longer to get down to Goshen, Ohio, but well worth the trip. It was great having you in the shop and in the class. It was a pleasure. You did a great job. So, great job. Thank you, everybody who super chatted this evening. That's a pretty blue. I do like it. Thank you all for who've done those and did that and kept up with the whole stream and all that business. Really do appreciate it. Not next week, not next Friday, but the following Friday, we will be giving away an anvil. Hopefully I'm not tugging on that too bad, making noise.
The date's down below.
So, yep, the date's down below. We'll be giving away another 66-pound anvil. That'll be anvil number 6 of the year. Yeah? Yep. So we're halfway there. Yeah, to giving our goal of 12 anvils away this year. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's pretty awesome. Who knows what we'll do next year? Never know. This thing, if it keeps growing, you know, we just keep giving bigger and bigger stuff away. Why not? Maybe one of those things that could be like Oprah, you know, you get an anvil and you get an anvil and you get an anvil. I would like that next year. That'd be great. It's kind of a selfish ambition, but I know I would like to see that next year. Oh, yeah, if Roy was a millionaire, right? I was a millionaire. Yeah, I wouldn't be a millionaire for long. So, oh, one last thing before I let you go. Was meaning to mention this somewhere in there. Thank you to whoever super chatted. God bless you. Thank you very much. Who is that? You get to it in a second. Okay. Some of you all recognize this hammer in the last live stream that we did 2 weeks ago. I was testing this, giving it a little test drive from Yamez over at Island Metal Forge. This was his lucky hammer number 13 that he made. And so I used it for the first part. If you want to go to the camera number 2, Jess, real quick, we'll show it off. Here. There you go. It's a nice little cross peen that he made out of Atlantic 33, or A33 there, and or Flutagon, as you call it. Anyways, so he did a really great job on putting this thing together, and he just wanted to see what my thoughts were on it, and so I gave him those officially, and then he was kind enough to take and tell me to give this away in one of our streams. So be on the lookout for the details on how you can win this little beauty of a hammer that I'll give away. So, yeah, so we can go back to the main cam. But yeah, so thank you, Yamez, for sending this out. I greatly appreciate it, and I'm sure somebody will absolutely love it when they win it. You can also check out Yamez at Island Metal Forge. I believe he's going to be doing a giveaway when he gets to 2,000 subscribers. He's right there on the cusp. You should go check him out and subscribe if you get the chance. He does live streams. He does good videos too as well. One of his predominant mainstays on his channel is doing live streams and hanging out with the community. He finds that the most fun. And he does those on Saturday evenings at 6 and Sunday mornings at about 10 a.m. He gets started and he goes for however long it goes for. But so go definitely check out Yamez at Island Metal Forge. Again, thank you, buddy, for providing this hammer, and we will be giving this away in one of the streams. So I'm not going to mention which one yet. It's just going to be surprise. We're giving it away at that point in time. So you'll have a little heads up maybe on Instagram if you're over on following us on Instagram. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, I can say it's a really good hammer. It did real well. The only reason why I didn't use it throughout the whole stream is because the handle was a little small for my hands. My hammer handle is about twice the size in girth. So just using it, switching hammers like that. I have used it since on other projects where I didn't need to take full swings, and I was able to get a little bit more, purchase on it versus, again, I'm a bit of a Nancy. I'm a bit of a princess when it comes to my hammers. I like my handle a certain way, and you feel the difference instantly after several 100,000 hammer blows with one hammer. You get used to that weight. So again, thank you, Yamez. This is a great hammer. Someone's going to really luck out to get this one along with our tongs. Maybe it'll be in our tong giveaway video. Huh? Maybe it'll be in our anvil. I don't know. See? That's called the upsell. That's called marketing right there. Bam, the hook. Oh, so thank you all for being here. Thank you very much. Jessica, super chat. Last one, go.
Yes. All right, boom. I will do the super chats. Brute Lemon had sent $10 to go towards a babysitter. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Gordon Farmer had sent a £1 super chat. And this most recent one was from, let me pull it up here, Mr. Coffee. He says, I like orange. So he turned it orange.
I like orange too. I will say, that magenta though, does have a certain ring to it, doesn't it? The magenta. Charming Hollow Forge knows how to charm a fella. He really does. Anyways, enough of my tomfoolery. I'm going to go eat. We're going to get some dinner. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this evening's live stream. If you did, you know what to do. Hit that like button on your way out there. Greatly appreciate it. Remember to set the bell for all the notifications. You have to do that. Otherwise, YouTube's not going to send you notifications. And then sometimes they don't even do that. So you might want to think about setting an alarm clock. All of next week's, the weeks and weeks and weeks after live streams, all of the live streams, they're planned out in advance. So all that information Jessica has in the description. The description's a real handy place, so definitely go there. And see when the next time is we're going live, and set yourself a little notification on your phone. And that way you won't miss out. So next one, we give away an anvil. Hope to see you there. So that's it. God bless you all. Have a great week. Thanks for being here.